It all started more like a family business, you know, multiple concepts, Charterhouse Productions, over 20 years in the industry. Over time, they've done undoubtedly some of the finest events we have on the continent of Africa. Miss Malaika, you know, events like Shaggy Live in Ghana, which I had the opportunity of hosting, Ghana Music Awards. That's about 21 years now. And I tell you, there's so much behind that company. She started with her husband. Over time, they've employed countless people who are doing so well, you know, in the music industry and across board in terms of the creative arts. Right now, right here, we have Mrs. Theresa Ayoade. Please welcome the CEO of Charterhouse Productions, Mrs. Theresa Ayoade. It's great to see you. How are we doing?
I'm doing good.
I know, yes. I can tell. You look good. You look fabulous.
Thank you.
And I mean, the great news is we're celebrating. Thank you very much. It's been 20 amazing years of Charterhouse Productions. And let me say congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
20 years came like in a flash.
Yes, it did.
Right.
Amazingly so.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
20 years of Charterhouse. Yeah. We know you. All the epic events you've organized in this country,
yeah.
Miss Malaika's, 1,000 and what have you labs, Ghana Music Awards, yeah. Shaggy Live in Ghana, Jay-Z Live in Ghana, yep. Countless corporate and national events.
Yep.
What is your 20th anniversary going to look like?
Well, I think it's for us it's more of Thanksgiving,
yeah,
and appreciation for how far we've come, and it's actually with a heart full of gratitude.
Okay.
That we are actually expressing and celebrating the 20th anniversary.
That's right.
So
That's right.
it's more of a lot of Thanksgiving and appreciation for how far we've come and the journey so far.
Let's do a flashback.
Yes.
Many years down the line, you know, Charterhouse has become the event company in Ghana, undoubtedly one of the finest we have on the continent of Africa as well. How did this journey start?
It's quite an interesting journey. When we were starting off, we didn't actually see the future. Okay. We were just passionate people, creatives who were just interested in creating and providing an opportunity for other creatives like us to express ourselves through the arts. Okay. And so that's really how the journey started. We just created content, created platforms, and through that we expressed ourselves. Right. And of course, I mean, there is an industry called the leisure industry, entertainment industry, and people do spend money on that. So then there was a fit. People needed entertainment. Yes. Ghana had a growing middle class, and they needed entertainment. They were exposed. They were watching all the great stuff happening all around the world. So we just gave them their version here in Ghana. And one of the things you've done that's grown over time to I mean, it's something everyone looks forward to every year is Ghana Music Awards. Definitely. So. Last year was the 20th anniversary, and you know, I was so looking for it. It was an epic celebration. There was so much excitement. It came in what? Before the birth of Charterhouse? No, you know, it's actually quite tricky the way it works. Yeah, it is. That's why I'm asking you. Because usually, you know, an event is a one-day event. Yes. And it's the first edition. So last year was the 20th edition. But then when you talk about a year starts and goes round. Right, that's right. Yeah, that's right. So that's why the 20th edition happened last year, and that was our 19th year. Okay. We had to travel the years to culminate now for the 20th year. So on 18th February we turned 20. 18th February. Yes. What's been the highs and lows of Charterhouse? The highs, I would say, are the joy of creating something and seeing it come alive. Yeah. And seeing people enjoy it and have fun with it, and seeing it achieve the results that you anticipated and expected it to be. Yeah. So it could be the public events like maybe the Ghana Music Awards or the 1,000 Lab series or the Miss Malaikas, etc. All of those are highlights. And then it could also be a corporate event where a client comes to you with a challenge and a problem and says, I need to launch a product. That's right. I need to design an experience activity for my brand. And you sit down and you do all the insights, the research, and then you conceptualize the idea of how you should execute the event to achieve the desired objectives of the client. Right. So when you see it all come out, to play on the final day, and you see the joy and satisfaction on the client's face. Those are the high points. So it moves between both the corporate events and the public events. The low points are obviously when things don't go right.
That's right.
As well as you planned them.
That's right.
Or you anticipated them. Sometimes you can do all your plan Bs, plan Cs, and you can do all your what ifs and mitigations and risk assessments, but things still go wrong. And those are the low points.
We can't talk about low points and not mention what happened last year. I'm sure you're actually probably tired of having this conversation, but for the benefit of our viewers, we have to have this conversation. What was it like when you had actually had a planning committee, an academy, selection committee, sit down, work through months to have a very spectacular 20th anniversary of Ghana Music Awards? I mean, you built a new auditorium in how many days?
In about 8 days.
In about 8 days for that purpose. And it was mad. How, on the night, what was running on your mind?
It was very heartbreaking. I was in shock. I was in total shock. It's like seeing all your hard work crumble down.
That's right.
It's like a house of cards where you've painstakingly, built everything to a point, and the event was just at that crescendo, just getting to the climax. And it was so highly anticipated.
It was.
And so much work had gone into it from all fronts. So when the chaos started happening, it just took me by shock. I mean, I just stood up on my feet and my mouth was open wide and I froze because I could not believe that was going on such a big night. So it's like a house of cards and someone just pulls one card and everything.
Yeah, everything just crumbles.
And you just literally see it's all crumbling before your very eyes. It was totally unbelievable. But the good thing was that we were able to restore calm and we continued. And for me, that was how you get up from a fall.
That's right.
Yeah, that was how you get up from a fall.
Right.
And I was very touched by the patrons who stayed.
Yes.
Who stayed right to the very end. I was very touched by it, and then I realized that we are doing a good thing and we should not let a few things distract us.
When we come back, we're going to ask Theresa about what happens to Shatta Wale and Stonebwoy. What is Ghana Music Awards 2020 going to be like? And the future for Charterhouse right here on this show. Don't move a muscle. Welcome back. KOD Meets, that's what you're watching right now. We're hanging in here with the CEO of Charterhouse Productions, Mrs. Theresa Ayoade. We're talking about Charterhouse, 20 years of action across Africa. And also, last year was the 20th anniversary of Ghana Music Awards. And of course, we all know what happened. It was marred by that very unfortunate incident. It's a new day, it's a new dawn.
Yes.
What happens to Shatta Wale and Stonebwoy?
Well, I believe that they would have to set out the ban.
Right.
And we will review after the next event.
Okay.
Yeah.
After this year?
Yes. After this year's event.
Shatta's been ranting, saying that Charterhouse as an organization has no right to ban any musician, because he sees Ghana Music Awards as a private event. What do you make of that?
Well, that's actually quite contradictory, even in a sense, because it's like when you play by the if you participate in the game, you play by the rules.
That's right.
Yeah, and the rules were clearly stated for participation, and so when the rules are contravened, we just need to follow the rules basically.
On the other hand, Stonebwoy says that he believes that the ban should not be lifted? Because it will set a great example for up-and-coming musicians.
Yeah, I think that what has to be done has to be done. These are the rules, and the rules were broken.
Yeah.
And the punishment had to fall, the act had to fall, and it fell. So we should just let it play out itself, and then move on.
Quite a number of people are wondering, what does it mean for you to say, I mean, I'm asking this, I know what it means, but what does it mean for you to say an indefinite ban?
Indefinite doesn't mean permanent.
Yes.
It just means that at the time the ban was placed, we did not define a duration.
Yeah.
That's just what it means.
Okay.
Yes. So that's really just what it means. Which means it means that it gives us some time to think through issues and think through matters and decide the best course forward.
Would it be very difficult for Charterhouse as an organization and also the academy to, you know, bring these gentlemen back based on everything that's going on, especially Shatter's utterances, you know, calling the board members
the
Paul,
the board doesn't have, the board and Charterhouse as an organization, we don't have anything against these musicians.
Okay.
They are fine gentlemen, they are fine musicians, plying their craft, we play their music, we support them. But when it comes to the rules of the game, we just had to follow it.
That's right.
Like, and like Stoneboy rightly said, to set the example, because what we are doing is we are building an institution, and institution must last generations.
Yes.
I mean, we want to be able to look back 100 years from now and see this event still going on.
That's right.
So what are the things we need to do to ensure that we protect the scheme and it stays noble to its cause? So these are some of the things that we need to do to just make sure that we stay focused and the right things are done all the time.
Have they returned? Sorry.
So unfortunately, that's just what it is. We just have to sit it through, go through it, and I'm sure at the end of the day, the scheme will be the better for it.
Yeah. Have they returned the plaques?
No, they haven't returned the plaques, but we're not making a big deal out of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've let go of it?
No, that's what I'm saying. That we are not making a big deal out of it.
So if they decide not to bring them, it's okay.
That's fine with us.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine with us. What's important is the fact that the message has been sent out that please respect the scheme for all its worth, and let's together build it to be a lasting institution that continues to reward and honor the hardworking musicians of Ghana.
It's 2020, you know, a new decade just started.
A new decade, yes.
I know.
Amazing.
And I know you're getting ready for this year's event.
Yes.
What is it going to be like?
Well, for us, it marks a new beginning for us because we see it as the start of a new decade. So we are thinking about how do we continue to preserve the scheme, how do we continue to make it better, how do we continue to make it relevant, and most importantly, how do we make it more inclusive? So we are actually looking out for the other people doing other kinds of music that have for some reason been excluded from the scheme through one way.
So it's going to be expanded some more?
So not necessarily expanded, but we are going extra lengths to bring in more musicians from other spheres that we may not necessarily come across through the normal means of accessing music. So don't be surprised if you see some new faces and some new names popping up in the scheme, other than the regular or the usual. So it's going to be more inclusive. That's one. Two, we are also refreshing some of the categories, refreshing the content, refreshing the definitions, refreshing the naming of the categories to also be in line with new trends. And we also we want to draw attention back to music. So our theme for this year is music first. Music first. What we're saying is that aside, let's forget about all the drama and let's focus on why we are here, which is the music. And we are here for the music only. Now, if we talk about music, you realize that if we don't get the foundation of music right, it sets us off in a wrong tangent.
That's true.
And so we looked at the industry and we said, let's go back to basics. What is people's first encounter of music? Where is it?
Yeah.
It should be in the schools. We realize that music has been taken out of the schools. And if you have a child who's talented and wants to pursue music right from the very early age, is it available for them in schools? No.
Right.
So we are actually campaigning and advocating for music education to go back to the schools. It should be part of a curricular activity. For example, in most schools have drumming and dancing and drama and all sorts of activities.
That's right.
Music study should be part of that as well, so that if a child is inclined towards music, they have the opportunity to start developing it through a formal curriculum system in the schools.
I totally agree.
So that is something that we are actually advocating for this year forward, that music should be reinstated back in the schools.
Music first is a theme for...
as, you know, a wayward thing, or, you know, it should be integrated in schools because it is actually a career path.
It is. It is a career path
for a lot of people who are creative.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Music first is the theme for this year's Ghana Music Awards, Vodafone Ghana Music Awards. When we come back, I want to ask Theresa what it is like working with her husband in the same space in the last 20 years, right here on KOD Meets. Don't move a muscle. Welcome back. You're watching KOD Meets with my very special guest, the CEO of Charterhouse Productions, Mrs. Theresa Ayoade. We record this at Kuala's Airport Residential Area, right at the Sky Bar, and it's amazing here. Beautiful, convivial atmosphere where you can just hang out with your friends. How do you see this place?
It's amazing. Amazing environment, amazing view. And it's just very, very chill. I like the vibe.
It is. It is a great vibe. It is a great vibe. Yeah. Let's talk about you working with your husband. What is it? Is it like working with Mr. Ayoade?
It's actually very cool. You see, when you're both creatives.
That's right.
And you're both always thinking up ideas and conceptualizing ideas. It's just amazing to have somebody you can bounce it off with, who gets it, and who can go with you there.
That's right.
And that's basically what it is. So we work very well together in terms of he's a very spontaneous person. I'm a very structured person. So I think, as I say, opposites attract.
That's right.
So we kind of bring out the best of each other.
Did you have any moments when you really disagree and like, no, I'm not gonna let it happen. No, you can't do it this way. No, because I've been doing this for so long. Like, yes, but we've been doing this together. So no, let's go this way. How do you deal with that?
I think we've kind of found a way around that. There are certain aspects of the business where I have the final say, and the other aspects where he has the final say. So once we know that this is
your lines are drawn properly.
The lines are drawn. So this is where I have jurisdiction. This is where you have jurisdiction. And once we have that agreement, we are able to work. Of course, there are projects that we work on together, and of course there will be clashes of opinion and ideas and all of that. But at the end of the day, what we do is we take a decision based on what will work best. Of course. Because at the end of the day, we all want the common good. Right. So that's really the ultimate decider of what we do. Right. Yeah. Right. So that's it. But I must say that we are both passionate about the creative arts. We are both passionate about providing a very congenial atmosphere for creatives to thrive. That's right. And allowing them to have impact in the world around them. And that's what Charterhouse does. Right. So if you are a creative out there and you really want to express yourself in so many different areas, Charterhouse is the place to be. Because, I mean, we've seen with our own eyes, people come into the company starting at a certain level, and because of the various things that we do, they're able to stretch themselves to move, maybe coming as a cameraman or as an editor, and they move on to becoming producers, directors. We have people coming as graphic designers, moving on to become animators, and visualizers and etc. So you come in and you can see the growth.
Yes.
And we take joy in that. That we have been able to create an environment where creatives can thrive and make impact.
And over time, you've gone beyond the space of Ghana. Where else do we have
Yes, we have offices in Nigeria,
right.
in Liberia, in Sierra Leone, and in Cape Verde.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me say congratulations to you, Theresa. I mean, 20 awesome years of bringing excitement to our doorsteps, and we really appreciate Charterhouse Productions for this.
Thank
you so much for
and thank you for having us.
Of course.
And thank you for being part of our journey
from day one.
Thank you for being part of our journey, because from day one
I've grown through time. Of course, everything,
all the ups and downs,
right.
and all the steps, and but I'm sure you also know that it's a lot of hard work.
It is a lot of hard work.
It's a lot of hard work, and of course the grace of God. I mean, what can we do without that?
Yes. We thank God for His grace and for your resilience as well.
His favor and for good health and strength to continue to do what we do. So we're looking forward to another 20
That's
and
right.
more. So
congratulations.
Should we drink to that?
Let's drink to that. Thank you so much for hanging out with us right here on KOD Meets. We'll see you next week.